Fall is unofficially here. As summer and warm days begin to wind down, our thoughts naturally turn to the last of the summer harvests and getting our beds ready for autumn and winter. There are no crops more synonymous with fall than garlic. Garlic is a member of the onion and leek family, and in the northern hemisphere, it's planted in the fall, overwintered, and harvested the following summer. But what do you do if all your garden space is already dedicated to other plants? Or you live in an apartment or condo and you don't have the luxury of a big garden? Well, that's when you're in luck, because garlic grows fantastic in containers. So growing garlic in containers isn't actually any different than growing garlic in your garden. So let me walk you through the steps on how I plant my fall garlic. When you're growing garlic in containers, there are two things you need to prepare, just like when you grow them in the ground. You need to prepare the garlic itself. As well, you'll have to prepare the container that they're going into. So garlic is quite shallow rooted, so you can get away with many different sizes and shapes of pots. The rule of spacing still applies. You want 4 to 6 inches between each garlic clove that you plant. But other than that, there's really no limits to the size of containers that you can grow in. Now for me, I love to grow in these 4-foot planters. Now these are designed for herbs, but they grow garlic just perfectly. I can do anywhere from 10 to 12 bulbs in these guys. And not only that, I can bolt them to fences and railings and grow my garlic vertically. I'll throw a link down below on how you can build your own one of these herb planters. You can build them in under 10 minutes and they cost less than 10 bucks. The first thing I do is I line my planter with newspaper. This helps not only with avoiding excessive drainage, but it also extends the longevity of the planter itself. Next, you're going to want to prepare a quality organic potting mix. Now, you can make your own or you can buy it. And if you are going to make your own, I'll throw a link down in the video description below of a really cool recipe for a DIY potting mix. So once you've got your potting mix ready, you can go ahead and fill the bed. Now, fill your planter or pot right to the surface, because with most potting mixtures, we're going to have to compress it a little bit. So just like when you're filling your seeding trays with a potting or seeding mixture, you're going to want to push this stuff down and compress it a little bit. And then simply add a little bit more to the top to fill it up. Now that your planter is full, we can go ahead and prepare the garlic cloves. Take a full bulb, preferably one that you grew yourself last season, cut off the stalk and cut off the roots. Make a huge mess, and then peel that outer layer of paper, revealing the cloves inside. Now this is important. Keep the paper on each individual clove intact. You're also going to want to discard the really small and skinny cloves. So even with that relatively small bulb, I was able to get 8 cloves out of this guy. And as you can see here, they're oriented with the root end toward you and the shoot end facing the other way. Now this is important because when you go to plant your garlic, you have to plant it root side down. So now that I have my 10 garlic cloves, let's go ahead and plant them in the planter box. So we're going to space these guys about 4 inches apart so we can get 10 bulbs in here. Now you just want to take root side down and simply push it all the way down about 1/2 inch below the surface. Now what I do is I lay my cloves on the surface of the soil so I know exactly where to plant them. As you start burying these guys, your spacing can get really out of whack. And then I'll simply grab each one, root side down, and away we go. So next up, you want to give these guys a good watering. But if it's a day like today, you probably don't need to. You can then go ahead and put the planter in its winter location. Now that could be on your deck, that could be on your railing, could be on the patio, or in my case, attached to my raspberry bed. Now one thing you're going to want to do, if your planter is exposed to the elements, is you should mulch the top of it. You never want exposed soil, be it in a container, a raised bed, or a garden plot. So that's it for today, guys. Let's do a quick recap if you're just joining us now. In North America, you plant garlic in the fall. Garlic is a member of the onion family, and it is overwintered and then harvested the following summer. Now you want to ensure you're planting your garlic cloves 4 weeks before your first frost date. This allows your cloves to send out those roots, get established, and ensures that they can survive the long winter. Prepare your pot, container, or planter box with an organic potting mixture that you either make yourself or buy at the store. You're going to want to fill your container to the top and then compress it a little bit so you can add a little bit more. Next, you prepare the garlic cloves by separating them from the main bulb. However, you only want to take the outside sheet of paper off, leaving the paper on the individual cloves intact. Plant those cloves root side down, roughly 4 inches apart, and you want to bury them about 1/2 inch below the surface. If your planter is going to be exposed to the elements through the course of fall and winter, definitely throw a layer of mulch on the top, and that can be grass or leaves or anything you normally use for mulch in your garden. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you don't have space in your garden, or if you live in a condominium or an apartment, you can still grow garlic. In fact, I would say garlic is made for containers. So don't despair. Plant that garlic this fall, and you won't have to be buying garlic next summer. As always, leave any questions or comments down below. I know a lot of you guys grow garlic, so let me know if you're growing it in containers this year, and let me know if you're doing it the same way, or if you got some different techniques. Click subscribe if you haven't already. For those of you that have, I really do appreciate the support. And I'll see you guys next time.